The ultimate cover-up. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered if we are being lied to? For decades, NASA has stood as the undisputed vanguard of human space exploration. They have sent probes beyond the solar system and put humans on another celestial body. But in the shadows of these monumental triumphs, a parallel universe of conspiracies has thrived. From secret alien structures to faked lunar landings, millions of people genuinely believe that the world's most famous space agency is hiding the ultimate truth. The internet is flooded with allegedly leaked videos, whistleblowers, and blurry photographs that promise to expose it all. Today, we are going to dive into the darkest, most controversial corners of the space internet. These 5 space mysteries sound exactly like a massive government conspiracy, but are they actually true? We are going to separate the science fiction from the hard, unforgiving facts. Let's uncover what is really happening in the cold. Silent void of space, myth 1. The faked moon landing. Let us start with the grandfather of all space conspiracies. The year is 1969. The Apollo 11 mission allegedly lands on the moon. But skeptics claim it was all a multi-billion-dollar theatrical production filmed in a Hollywood basement, perhaps even directed by Stanley Kubrick. The evidence? The American flag seems to wave in a vacuum where there is no wind. There are absolutely no stars visible in the pitch-black lunar sky, and the shadows cast by the astronauts look like they were created by artificial studio lighting. It sounds incredibly convincing, doesn't it? But here is the brutal reality. The flag was held up by a horizontal metal rod to keep it visible. And it only moved when the astronauts physically twisted the pole into the dirt. The stars are missing because the landing took place during the lunar morning. The incredibly bright sunlight reflecting off the white spacesuits and the gray lunar surface forced the cameras to use a fast shutter speed, making faint starlight impossible to capture. But the ultimate, undeniable proof lies in physics. The Apollo astronauts left behind retroreflectors, specialized mirror panels. Right now, tonight, any independent observatory on Earth can fire a high-powered laser at the exact coordinates of the Apollo landing sites, and the light will bounce directly back. You cannot fake a laser bouncing off a mirror 250,000 miles away. We went to the moon. Myth 2. The ISS live feed cuts. You have ever watched the International Space Station live feed? You might have noticed something highly suspicious. Every now and then, a strange, glowing object appears in the distance, slowly moving across the screen. And then, suddenly, the screen cuts to a blue error message. The feed is dead. Conspiracy theorists argue that NASA has a dedicated team watching the monitors 24/7, ready to pull the plug. The absolute second an extraterrestrial spacecraft enters the frame. They are hiding aliens, right? The truth is much more technical and perhaps a bit less romantic. The International Space Station does not broadcast directly to your laptop. It transmits its massive data feed through a network of relay satellites called TDRS, positioned high in geostationary orbit. As the ISS travels at a blistering 17,000 miles per hour, it constantly moves out of range of one satellite and has to connect to the next. These handovers create brief, temporary blind spots where the signal drops completely. And what about those glowing objects? When the station adjusts its orbit or vents waste systems, tiny crystals of ice and flakes of metallic spacecraft paint are violently ejected into the vacuum. When these tiny, mundane particles are suddenly illuminated by the blinding, unfiltered light of the sun against a pitch-black background, they look exactly like glowing, majestic alien Armoth. Myth 3. The Face on Mars, 1976. The Viking 1 spacecraft was orbiting Mars, scanning the surface for potential landing sites. Suddenly, it captured a photograph that shocked the world. In the Cydonia region, staring directly up into the cosmos, was a massive, clearly defined human face carved into the Martian rock. Beside it appeared to be the crumbling ruins of ancient pyramids. Was this the final, irrefutable proof of a dead, ancient Martian civilization that NASA was trying to cover up? The image was published, and the myth was instantly born. However, human psychology is a powerful and deceptive thing. We suffer from a phenomenon called pareidolia, an evolutionary survival trick where our brains are hardwired to recognize faces in random patterns, from clouds to burnt toast. In 1976, the cameras were low resolution, and the shadows were cast at the perfect dramatic angle to create the illusion of eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Decades later, NASA sent the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter with ultra-high-definition cameras to photograph the exact same spot from multiple angles and under different lighting conditions. The truth was finally revealed. It is not a monument. It is simply a mesa, a heavily eroded, completely natural rocky hill shaped by millions of years of ancient Martian winds. No aliens, just geology. Myth 4. The James Webb Telescope disproved the Big Bang when the revolutionary James Webb Space Telescope finally opened its golden mirrors to the deep universe. A shocking headline swept across the internet. The Big Bang didn't happen, and NASA is panicking. Articles claimed that the telescope had found evidence that the universe is infinite and eternal, destroying modern physics in an instant. The conspiracy stated that the scientific elite were desperately trying to silence the telescope's data to protect their funding and their textbooks. This is a classic case of scientific data being completely misunderstood by the public. What the James Webb Telescope actually discovered were galaxies that were massive, fully formed, and heavily structured much earlier in the universe's timeline than we thought possible. According to our old computer models, there simply shouldn't have been enough time after the Big Bang for these giant galaxies to assemble so perfectly. But this does not disprove the Big Bang. The universe is still actively expanding, and the cosmic microwave background radiation is still there. Instead, this discovery proved something equally exciting. Our understanding of how early galaxies evolved is completely wrong. Science isn't a cover-up. It is a constantly updating process. James Webb didn't break the universe. It simply forced us to rewrite the first chapter. Myth 5. Planet X and the end of the world finally. We reach the most apocalyptic myth of them all, Nibiru, or Planet X. The theory claims that a massive, rogue planet is lurking on the outer edges of our solar system, or deliberately hiding directly behind the sun. According to the conspiracy, it is on a direct collision course with Earth, and NASA is keeping it a strict secret to prevent global panic and societal collapse. The idea of a secret apocalypse makes for a great movie, but it fails every single test of basic orbital mechanics. You cannot hide a massive planet. Even if it were completely invisible to optical telescopes, its immense gravitational pull would dramatically disrupt the orbits of Mars, Jupiter, and every other planet in our solar system. The math of the solar system would break down. Furthermore, NASA does not control the sky. There are hundreds of thousands of amateur astronomers around the globe staring at the stars every single night. If a giant planet were truly barreling toward Earth, a teenager with a backyard telescope would have spotted it years ago. The sky belongs to everyone, and there is no Planet X coming to destroy us. Asterisk, the real wonder space is inherently terrifying, overwhelmingly vast, and fundamentally mysterious. It is entirely natural for the human mind to fill the dark, empty voids with conspiracies, aliens, and secret plots. But the truth is, we don't need to invent fake stories to make space interesting. The real, documented facts that we can bounce lasers off the moon, that we can see the literal birth of galaxies billions of light years away, and that we are slowly building the technology to live on Mars are far more incredible than any conspiracy theory ever written. The universe doesn't need to be covered up. It is already the greatest story ever told. If you enjoyed this journey into the truth behind the myths, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. What other space mysteries do you want us to investigate next? Let us know in the comments below. Keep your eyes on the stars, and see you in the next one.